So good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome to Curious Time, and Curious Time special Teachers Day edition. Ed Leaders is going to be on would be releasing soon. So we've invited you for an interview and to be part of the Ed Leaders. And I'm personally very happy that we could finally meet on a Zoom call, though. And we've been with the Navy Children's School for now 2 years, and
Yes.
I'm very happy with how we have seen the children's participation and all the interest that you have personally shown, and your team has been sort of kind to get all the students, as many students, and showcase their uh, talent to the world. And also it's their early digital footprints which are non-social media but more constructive. So I'm very happy to have you here.
Most welcome.
So ma'am, Ed Leaders magazine is going to be about the leaders journey as they came into the profession or the vocation, and then how they have carved out a way for themselves over 15, 20, some people are 30 years into the system. And we'll talk about your own inspirations, your own struggles and challenges, and then in the current context, how things have changed, the landscape has changed, then how do new professionals or people with lesser experience navigating their way into this, they got to sort of look at the whole things. And then obviously, because it's Teachers Day, the students are going to be for the teachers and the teachers are going to be for the students. So some messages for them. So maybe we can start a little bit about yourself. It'd be delight to know more about yourself and how your career started, maybe your earlier impressions of teaching, and then how did you take this plunge and thereafter.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. And yes, my children have been regular contributors to the Curious Times. Every day, early morning, once the paper comes in and it is sent to all the children, we do a multiple of newspapers for our children, depending on what they would like to read. NIE, right? Times in newspaper in education, HP Pace. We send all the 3 newspapers because each newspaper brings along with it a variety of the paper layout, a variety of information, and a variety of contests. More the merrier, as I would say. So the children are participating in a lot, and each newspaper brings something special to the table. So that is concerned. So Curious Time finds a lot of takers, a lot of readers, which is a pleasure to see, and they're regularly contributing. Kudos to your team for continuously keeping us in your message loop, keeping us regular in your email loop, where continuous reminders as well as information is sent out, which is a blessing. Otherwise, there is information overload. So in that that is wonderful that your team is connected through various platforms. So that is one. Number 2, whereas my journey is concerned, I've been to the education industry for almost 28 years now, but in a very varied manner. My life, I did my postgrad in zoology, and I realized that I am bored studying. After BSc, after MSc, I didn't want to study it anymore. I was getting an MPhil walk-in. That time there was an MPhil at Udaipur University. I passed out from Sophia College, and daughter of an Air Force officer. And we've moved all our lives from one place to the other. So kind of a nomadic existence, but have loved every minute of it, and have traveled the length and breadth of the country with my dad. Once that happened, so it was a shock to my parents that this child doesn't want to study anymore. So now what will she do? What will we do with her? So a chance meeting with Mr. Iqbal Sachdeva, head of marketing, Goodyear Tires, changed my life forever. He used to head the marketing and communications department of Goodyear Tires in those times. And he said, why don't you try your hand at advertising? I shifted my focus completely to a corporate background. trained and learned with the best in the business, got into training and mentoring, and then got married to a naval officer. Again, time to pack your bags and move from one place to the other. Brought me to Goa, where I am currently. And I got my first teaching job. I always enjoyed training, counseling, and mentoring thanks to my corporate profile. Thanks to my interest, I did my B.Ed. And the school that I head currently as principal, I started my career in this very school 25 years ago as a primary teacher, teaching class 3 and 4. I attend the weddings of my children now. I'm already a grandmother in a manner to speak. And, so from there onwards, I kept moving from place to place. And about 10 years back, stepped into school administration. A short stint at Amity International in Gurgaon, then Manav Rachna International School, Greenfields, I worked as administrator. And then in 2019, November, it is like homecoming for me. I came back to head the same school. So this is what my journey has been. And as whether it was a teacher, being a trainer, I'm an NLP practitioner. I am a voiceover artist. I love hiking. And there are myriad hats that I wear. And I think that is where the energy, the passion, the enthusiasm for my profession comes. So I'm never bored. I'm always on the move. And I love working with people. My team is my biggest strength. The current team that we work with, whether it's the admin or the support staff or my teaching staff. So it's been quite a journey, very, very satisfying and full of multiple people because being from an armed forces background, you lead a very nomadic life with your husband, with your wife. My father-in-law is from the Navy, Army, sorry. So it's an ultimate 4G family, which has seen the length and breadth of the country, which kind of helps in a way, makes you super adaptable and very open to people, skills, surroundings, and I would say a whole journey in itself. So
Right.
that's the way I am.
So that's very inspiring. And as you narrated, like, the person on the other side is feeling equally charged. And I'm just able to connect with everything you said because my dad, not in Army and Navy, but has been in a public sector bank. So even we moved a lot. And then obviously in introspection or in hindsight, you feel that those were good things to happen because you know so many people, right? And you can connect with so many different people of different types, varieties, smaller cities, and all of that. And
Absolutely.
that energy is actually right now sort of sitting with me. But you're in a wonderful place like Goa with all your travel. That's a good place to be if you even settle there for long, and even if you choose to move out, it's okay. But yeah,
I am digging roots here. I have decided.
okay.
This
No,
place
it's
is
wonderful.
magical.
Yeah, this place is magical. So obviously we do envy, and that is why visiting Goa and Navy Children's School in Goa was on my list. So I was
Lovely.
very excited that we have like inroads to two schools, Navy Children's School Goa and Kochi. And because
Lovely.
just the location of it, it was very exciting for us to,
Most welcome. Most welcome. We are right next to the airport, 50 meters from the airport.
Okay. I'm definitely sure that when I'm visiting there, I'm visiting you. Ma'am, this is very inspiring journey, and I think the big takeaways from this for some of other people is like variety that you see from from your background perspective. Some of them happen to you because you don't choose them, but anyway, making yourself or just anchoring yourself to a certain thing or place also sort of does not make you a complete person. So you got to sort of venture out. And I think from education perspective also, while some of the things happen to us, but some of the things we keep making them happen because we keep thinking around them. And I think that's very relevant as the new world that we are in, like maybe for the last 5-7 years, things change at such a rapid pace that even from students' perspective, that diversity in education and in terms of holding and managing different types of roles and not being closed to any kind of work uh, could work wonders for them. So I think your journey is very inspiring. It's not a conventional Fauji wife journey. It's a pretty much a leader's journey. So,
Yes.
so congratulations to that. Um, my next thing that comes to my mind is around, uh, some of the challenges. While I understand moving places is a challenge, it's a blessing, but then some of the other challenges that you sort of came across, and you were breaking those stereotypes in some sense. If you could just share some of those things.
Okay. Uh, uh, a couple of things here I'm going to say may not sit well with many people, but I realized in my administrator's journey, the moment I stepped outside the zone of a teacher and sort of started moving up the administration ladder, I realized that there is a common thread that joins us all schools together, probably the common thread being, say, NCERT or CBSE or
Right.
IGCSE, which are the boards that connect us. But what I realized was that at the helm of running a school is a management.
Right.
Every school is run by a management. The management sets the pace, the ethos, the vision, and the mission of the school. Now, the biggest learning experience for me was to align myself with the vision and mission of each school and sort of uh, translate their vision according to my vision. Why? Because sometimes you are given the flexibility of implementing as an educationist, because primarily an educationist has to be a visionary thinker.
Correct.
Now, sometimes the management, my biggest challenge was, since I moved so much, I had the opportunity of working with some of the best and some of the worst. Why I say worst? Because I have a huge problem in corporatizing an entire education system or running an education system like a business. At the bottom of it, yes, one does look at profits, but somewhere along the line, the whole profit-making business or the whole profit-making scenario somehow is very detrimental to education. So with some of the managements that I worked, that was a challenge. Overcoming those challenges was tough because I had to realign my thinking completely to start thinking the big city way, because you are there, you are in run for competing with which school has more admissions and which school has less, right? And how are we upping the admission and the numbers game? That
Right.
was a challenge, but a challenge which had to be learned if you had to survive. But here then comes the personal dilemma of how far am I willing to go and compromise on my values as an educationist, as a policymaker, as a visionary, and as a forward-thinking leader. This was the biggest challenge. And there were some managements who were as corporates, were into the business of education, so to speak, but gave the educationist and the school administrator the freedom to run the school while they look at the business aspect, right? So there were some managements who could strike a beautiful balance, while some managements, they moved away from it all and only concentrated on the numbers and the money. So that was my biggest challenge, like I said, because we moved so much. But I took it as a learning. Why? Because it exposed me to various administrative aspects of different schools. And I took to it like fish takes to water, because there is this hunger for learning and trying to get as much possible experience as I could as I went along the way. So after a decade of school administration in all kinds of setups, I now know and I can identify what works for me and what doesn't work for me. How has it helped? At the very start of every interview that I face, I put my cards on the table that this is what I primarily am. If challenged, then I may not be able to function to the best of my abilities. Because at the end of the day, a school leader has a moral responsibility or integrity, and how true she is or he is to his profile. So education was never a problem. Team building was never a problem. Children are never a problem, which are the core of any school.
Right.
But the way you run your schools
Right.
is very important. How you set systems is very important. And somehow governing of schools is something which is very, very important and very close to my heart.
Right.
So if that is done right, then I don't think to run a school and to educate children will be a problem. Never.
Right.
Yeah. So that was one of my biggest challenges.
No, I think,
But,
yeah, when you spoke, it just gave me a little goosebumps. Like, I think it's the kind of confidence that I actually see in terms of your saying that this is what I will not do, right? That
yes.
kind of thing that comes like with lots of exposure as yours, because you've been through multiple sort of, scenarios, and does not come like if you've been in one place for a long period of time, then you're actually just thinking,
That's right.
like,
That's right.
that's my automatic ladder to whatever. I think the whole process of kind of processing different aspects of an institute, be it administration or academics, or all the other management aspects. I think the fact that one becomes clear that this is what is my cup of tea and I'm not taking any other tea is important.
Yes.
I think
I have seen, even while working with the team, if you give them the creative freedom and just tell them, this is your loose framework, these are your expectations, and this is our aim. Believe me, the team will deliver.
yeah.
Whether it is your teachers, whether it is our children, or whether it is our admin team.
Right.
Somehow we want to box them from the very beginning. And I don't believe in boxes. I believe in fluidity.
Right.
So, so I have seen it works very well, even with children.
Right.
So the moment you tell them, this is yours, implement it the way you wish to.
Right.
You want to teach outside sitting under a tree, or you want to take them to a beach, your call.
Right.
Children at the end of the day must learn, and learn in the best possible manner.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah, I think, yeah, those are very powerful thoughts. And I think it's like very sort of very messaging also with the people who actually work with you. They would be able to understand, not just as an individual. I think some of the things that we are talking about now, and now that we will also share with other people, is something where the young and the new teachers will be able to sort of look at the career from a very different perspective, versus when they join that I need to do B.Ed and I need to do this and I need to teach here for 3 years and then this is going to happen. So I think those things will change when they hear you, and I'm sure the people who know you would know this story, but otherwise this is very inspiring, and for them this is how they can navigate their ways as they grow. So yeah, true. So ma'am, somewhere like for last 1.5 years, you said that you don't like profiteering, etc., right? The whole profit making philosophy behind schools. But there's this whole technology which is actually a large part of teaching is now shifted to technology, right? And now the teachers need to revisit their roles, like what kind of roles do they play. So I would like to get your thoughts over there, where things have moved to technology and some things still stay in, and there are challenges because things have moved to technology, but there are there's also certain good news for the things that have moved. So what's our thing like now? How do we redefine teaching roles as lots of stuff is moving to technology, and resources are plenty, content is plenty.
Yes. For me, the biggest thing was till earlier, till while we were having offline school, uh, the focus from the teacher was already shifting. It is, see, we don't say the teacher is redundant. The
Right.
teacher is never redundant. She is there more as a facilitator than as the sole person dishing out knowledge. Dishing out knowledge, even Google can do, or Wikipedia will do.
Right.
Children all have to do is just Google. Why do they still need the teacher? They do need the teacher, and this is where now the shift is coming and being observed. They are watching the teacher through a computer screen. There are times they are getting all their resources from various edtech platforms, which are booming them with a lot of material and content. Right? There are times when children are, the senior lot I'm observing, is not interested in attending the classes because they say we watch XYZ video from this edtech platform and we are ready. Right? So to bring the children into the online classroom, asking them to unmute and answer, or asking them to show their faces or switch on videos is a tremendous task.
Right.
Yes, at least the senior. The little ones are very eager, but the senior lot. Yes, yes. So senior lot here, now the teacher has to think from a completely different perspective. He has to now we have realized, working like online flipped classrooms, that has worked very well for us. When we give them content and task and we give them pre-work, that works a lot. So that's one area that has worked very well with us. I have realized equipping your staff and professionally developing their ICT tools works tremendously.
Right.
In, for example, in my school, when the whole online boom happened, my younger lot, the younger teachers, took to technology amazingly fast.
Right.
While the senior lot took a little time and was intimidated by technology.
Yes.
Now there was a divide. So it happened that the senior lot had to be taught by the junior lot.
Right.
Right. So that happened. But then we realized this could be a cause for a divide. So to address that gap, we focused a lot on tech development and tech skill development of our teachers.
Right.
The moment you give the teacher the confidence to face an online classroom, half her fear is gone.
Right.
And if you have a confident teacher facing seniors, imagine your children knowing more than you, which is the case.
Which is
ma'am, refresh. No, ma'am, press this. Or ma'am, link this. Or ma'am, you can share your screen now. All these things, the kids helped out.
Yes.
So we had to tell the teachers, number one, it's okay to be helped by your children. Be vulnerable.
Right.
Be vulnerable and say, could you help me here? Let's do this together.
Right.
So here a connect could happen with the teacher. So the teacher was very much there in the delivery. And at the same time, the massive changes brought in by CBSE.
Right.
You need a teacher to handhold you through these changes. The MCQs, the competency-based, the assertion reasoning, the entire change in the syllabus, the entire rationalization of syllabus. You need the teacher to help you through these changes.
Right.
what I communicated to my teachers was, you are not there for content. They can watch X, Y, Z teacher sitting from the confines of their bedroom, and they can take themselves anywhere in online mode. But to help them cope with these changes and to help them navigate these changes, you have to be there. And it's okay to say that. It's all right to say that look, you're on your own, you're doing a lot on your own, I'm here to help you, but this is what is expected. Number one, that's where the teacher comes in. With the little ones, they adore their teachers. So for them, teacher is God or demigod.
Correct.
This kind of adulation exists till class 8 or 9.
Yeah.
After that, the children become focused on careers. They become focused on so many other things.
Correct.
The second thing that is very important for senior school teachers to understand is to understand careers of today,
Yes.
to understand competencies of today, to understand job markets today, and to understand the connect between the school, college, university, and work life.
Yeah.
Because suddenly, parents and children are rethinking skilling completely, right? So a child is shifting from different combination of subjects. A child is shifting from skilling and normal books to actually what matters. Imagine an engineering undergraduate coming into my office and saying, why did I waste 12 lakh rupees of my parents? I could have easily done a 3 months coding ka course. I would have earned the same amount of money.
Right.
This is how the generation is thinking.
Right.
Why should I go to a design school for graphic designing when I can do 6 months of animation from XYZ place and earn the same amount of money?
Yeah.
Why do I have to go through college? Can't I just skip college?
Right.
Can't I just go into vocational training straight away? Now, if you look at these questions that a child is asking, right? So here the teacher needs to be very well informed. So I tell my teachers, if you get the chance, please enroll for a career counseling course.
Yeah.
Please be informed by your children, because what is it that you are bringing extra to the classroom that your students are not disinterested?
Right.
Right? You teach chapter after chapter after chapter without any connection to the real world. The student can go to a coaching class and get the same thing.
Right.
Why should he switch on his video, unmute himself or herself, and participate in teaching learning process?
Yes.
And being at home, physically not being around in school, all the more reason you are distracted to just switch off. Children are doing that.
Yes.
So you have to rethink the manner in which you are actually delivering content. So for me, the teacher has to actually reinvent. She's not redundant. She's very much a part of their lives, to help them emotionally, mentally, and futuristically navigate those changes with the children, I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's where she's very much a part of their lives. Definitely. Very much a part.
I totally agree. Couldn't have agreed less, but I think you articulated it very well with the examples also, which are it's sitting with everybody. This particular problem of students knowing more than the teachers, or especially people have saved time in terms of not coming to school. There is a commute time of 2 hours which is getting saved. They have gadgets at their disposal. They know what next to do. So so a career counselor who actually the parents and the students are actually tapping are the same people who kind of need to equip the teachers to sort of know like these are the future careers and this is how you can help.
Absolutely.
And
You have to build a bond. And, interacting with children through a computer screen has its own pitfalls.
Right.
It takes seconds for them to switch off.
Right.
Seconds.
Right.
There are so many other things to distract them. They have their phone beside them, probably another parallel device to distract them. They are logging into social media at the same time. They're messaging their friends. Right. I feel they are running a tech empire sitting in the confines, facing the laptop with the teacher talking.
Right. Totally.
Yes, While the teacher is trying to concentrate on delivering the chapter, a child could be doing multiple things, and that's the way life is. And imagine you, as a 50-year-old, have to reinvent, revamp your entire manner in which you are talking to Gen Z now.
Right, right, right.
So that is a danger which every teacher needs to, communicate, navigate, implement, and learn.
Right.
Today's teacher has to learn like never before.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
But the good news also is, like, how they actually take it. They do
yes,
not need to go to any physical places or, after school places to go and learn this. Just like
absolutely.
people, just like, children are logging into Udemy and other places to figure out their life. Yeah, our teacher also needs to do probably the same thing to figure out like what's happening, at least to get to the basics. And it's also made easy. It's as much as their disposal as students disposal. It just needs a little bit of own push to adapt to various things. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
True.
ma'am, I think I would not have too many more questions. You've talked so much about, your own passions, and you're very much like, hands-on learning to how to shift gears, which teachers need to do. Just, some last comments for children on Teachers' Day, kids on Curious Minds, or in your school or elsewhere, and they
Yes.
are 21st century children. They have their own pressures, they have their own resources, distractions, but, like, their pressures are very real from what they were in the 90s for us, or 2000s for us. It's very different now. And so, your kind of words for them.
My message to all children today on Teachers' Day would be just one: be you, be yourself. And the rest, everything will fall into place. You all are under, like you rightly said, so much of pressure. Number one, be aware of your own self. Number one. And the second thing is just be yourself. And if you be yourself, you will be able to project the best version of yourself,
Totally.
right? Yes, because this is you, without copying your peers, without copying anybody. Just be yourself, because that is what you're going to attract then. It
Right.
will manifest in a way that others would get attracted to your unique persona. So just be you, be yourself. Rest, everything will fall into place, I would say. That's it.
Yeah, those are wonderful words. I think that's a message that they need. It will take off the pressure. It sometimes
Yes,
it takes us 20 years to say be yourself.
yes,
After 20 years of work,
yes.
say, okay, be yourself. But yeah,
Yeah. Like we say, no, be yourself, the world will adjust.
yes, that's
Yes,
true. Yeah.
yes,
So I
yes.
think thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time. And I am, extremely. I was like telling everybody, there was another meeting. I said, no, I'm going to meet Navy Children's School only at this time. It's very hard to get ma'am's time, which is, and it's been difficult because we've not been able to travel. So, so we even if we put it in our list to sort of meet you, we can't. So it's such a pleasure to have you, and so much of pleasure to carry your interview in our Ed Leaders magazine. And we're sure most of our children are going to like it, and all the teachers on Curious Times are going to really love your energy and your passion, and it is very, very infectious. It's infecting me right now sitting here. Yeah, so thank you so much, ma'am. All the very best,
Pleasure.
and
Thank you.
wishing happy Teachers' Day to all your colleagues, to you, to your colleagues, and everybody in your teaching faculty. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot. My pleasure. It was wonderful interacting with you. We'll stay connected. And next time you're in Goa, please visit us. We would love to show you around. And like I said, we are very close to the airport, and you're most welcome anytime and every time. All the love and best wishes from Navy Children's School Goa to Curious Times. Thank you.
So much, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.